I let my guard down for a split second and drove straight into some more soft sand that really we couldn't even see. This was frustrating. We got stuck, and as we do, we beached ourselves, and it was very frustrating. Once it became clear we weren't getting out, I decided to take a Hail Mary and ring the local social club. Now, I've never been there before. I've never talked to anyone there before. I honestly just had to give it my best shot. So in the YouTube version of this stream, we'll cut that in there. But those of you that were there know that it was a frank and honest conversation that, yes, I needed someone to go for a short walk behind the social club and rescue my robot. We saw them come down. They came down. They found Solar Boy after some conversation. They picked him up, carried him back to the social club, and promised to look after him for the night. So the next day, we decided to head up to find out what had become of our boy. All right, what up? TK here with the recovery crew. We're about to head up to go and recover the robot from Yvette, who so kindly let him stay at the pub. We've got a few cars here. We're going to probably take a Toyota. The Mazda won't fit all three of us. But we're going to get on the road and go get this robot back. All right, real talk. It's, 20 degrees today? 25. We're at the facility. We're at the social club. We're going to go in there, see if we can meet Yvette and get the robot back. There's someone in a caravan over there. All right. You think we're getting the robot?
Yeah, should be there.
I hope so. All right, let's go. Let's go.
If they're open.
You look after the keys? Yeah, I hope they're open. Bloody windy day. All right. I'm nervous. I don't know why. We arranged this. They're going to be like, give us the robot or we'll kill you. I'm like, you've already got the robot. So this is a vet who thankfully rescued Solar Boy. We're all very thankful. Was it Maxine? Yeah. And Maxine's friend. We're down here at the Port Parham Club. Beautiful to be having a beer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're very glad to have Solar Boy coming home safe and sound. So they drive these out into the water, towing a boat behind it.
Yeah, because the motor's up here.
Oh, okay.
So you go out until the water's up to there.
That's a really good way to launch a boat, and it's called a jinker. Nice. First here tonight. Unfortunately, I don't get to stick around for it, but I think it's going to go off. I won't show you the photos. But yeah, I think someone's going to have a great time at the club tonight. This is brilliant. All right, well, I've got a cap. That was an absolutely enjoyable trip, meeting Yvette and Maxine and everyone. We're definitely coming. Bryce has dropped the antenna. We are definitely coming back here for another visit, because this was just absolutely enjoyable. Couldn't have asked for more from the Parham Social Club. All right, here's where we started the mission. We rolled trying to get up this hill because Solar Boy is not dynamically capable, and there's the trail we actually tried at the start. It gets really overgrown in there. That was absolutely fantastic. We came down to the Parham Social Club. We met Yvette, we met Maxine. Absolute charmers, weren't they?
Yep.
Just absolutely wonderful. Solar Boy couldn't have had a better place to spend the night. We're going to have to come back up here for a visit sometime because it was just too much fun. But for now, we're heading back to Mission Control and put a nice, tight little bow on the end of this wonderful, magnificent, successful mission. Till next time, TK out. So, all in all, it was a remarkably successful recovery. We had a great time there, having a beer, hanging out in Parham at the social club. It was really nice to meet some people, have a good laugh about everything that happened. We really did have a good time. As for the guide, in terms of the hint, we basically headed from a place starting with W to a place starting with P. That's where the letter combination came from. Basically, we had a great day. We actually explored some of the local area, and fundamentally, they were really good sports about rescuing our robot, and we're actually pretty happy to see us. We couldn't really have asked for more. Fundamentally, from here, we're heading into fire danger season. The official designation starts in, I think, less than a week now. And one of the biggest things we found over the 10 missions we've now run with Solar Boy is that Solar Boy does have some pretty serious shortcomings. Other than driving on smooth road or maybe very light scrub or dirt, Solar Boy really struggles. The high weight, the cobbled together drivetrain, the high center of gravity have all conspired to beat us time after time after time. We've been stuck in soft sand, we've rolled, we've had all these different problems, as well as the fact that, for example, using consumer radio hardware has really limited our range in ways that we really shouldn't have been experiencing. I truly do believe we wouldn't have got stuck in Mission 8, for example, if we had a 700 megahertz radio, for example. It has been a great ride, but with each ongoing mission trying to make more and more and more hacks to the same platform, trying to make it better and better, you eventually reach a point where you realize you need to start with a clean sheet of paper. Solar Boy is wonderful, and I certainly won't be tearing him to bits, but in terms of any future missions, we're probably going to look at building a new platform. We've talked a lot about Solar Boy 2 on this channel and what we want to do in the future. Things like a platform that has far more torque and far less emphasis on speed, something that is a proper hardcore chassis, not a repurposed Radio Shack toy, and also making changes to the electronics so that they're much more integrated with much less loose flying wires, quicker to assemble, more lightweight, more compact, and then throwing it all on a rover in a far more well-designed fashion to keep our center of gravity low and just keep things more efficient and rugged and reliable. Red Wolf 2, that's exactly what we're talking about. This is a retirement for now for Solar Boy. We may bust out the platform again in future for a bit of fun, but fundamentally, yeah, in terms of serious missions, we will be building a new rover from the ground up with everything we've learned from these Solar Boy missions. Fundamentally, it's going to take some time. The benefit is that being summer and the fact that the conditions mean it's not really ideal to be doing robot missions at the moment anyway, means we do have some time to take off, reflect, and pour all that into the design of the new robot. We've got to design a new backplane PCB. We've got to look at options for a new 4G radio system that's going to be far more effective. We've got a few different things we've got to do. And also having a new rover means that we can keep Solar Boy on backup for example, if, as Ultra Scheiben says, a Solar Boy emergency rescue vehicle. While we always consider it to be cheating if we head out and rescue our robots ourselves, if we deploy another robot to go and bump Solar Boy out of a ditch, I don't know if that's cheating. I just think that's awesome. So we'll definitely look at having some shenanigans there in the future. But realistically, where we're at now is heading into hibernation to basically get my head down and do the hard yards to build an entirely new rover platform. It's going to take an absolute shed load of work, just like Solar Boy 1 did. And I absolutely cannot really overestimate the hours put into Solar Boy 1. Just in the last 2 months alone, I probably took 2 full weeks off. Probably 2 full weeks off work each month. Solving networking problems, refreshing things, repairing things. It was becoming incredibly inefficient. What happened to Solar Boy? Why didn't he work when he got unbogged? Similar to the problem we had on Mission 6 and 7, what happened is when we went full throttle, the pinion gear worked its way off of the motor shaft, leaving us with no drive whatsoever. It's been a continual problem with this Radio Shack chassis. It just doesn't have the drivetrain to back up this kind of activity. It just honestly, it's meant as a toy to drive on smooth lawns and tarmac. It's not meant to. It certainly doesn't. It just simply doesn't have the capabilities of a proper RC rock crawler chassis. While I do have the parts, I really am sick of rebuilding it and spending time and money deploying Solar Boy only to bring him back 2 days later. So fundamentally, for now, this is a bit of an ending, and when we come back in the new year, it will be a new beginning. If anyone has any other questions, I'll gladly answer them. But from here, you want to keep your eyes trained on the YouTube, which is at WhatUpTK here as well, for developments, and before we come back to Twitch when our new rover is ready. Ultra Shriven, what about a pre-built toy designed for outdoor use? Well, that's essentially what I've done, and I can grab it here. I'll just grab it now. So we very nearly used this year until I realized it was going to be far too much work to actually get this ready this year. Here we have, and I've shown this before, this is a $350 RC Rockcrawler chassis. Even though it has a smaller motor, with the gearing and with the design, it is far more capable than the Radio Shack toy we use for Solar Boy 1. Also, everything on it currently is waterproof. So basically this chassis will form the basis for our next rover. I'll be designing a PCB and some other housings and some other gear to basically solve a lot of problems. We're going to try and keep the weight really low. We're probably actually going to make the battery smaller. I think we have a lot more battery now than we currently actually need, especially with the smaller motor and the greater efficiency of this drivetrain potentially. We may also look at doing missions a little bit differently. We've got to really analyze what was the most fun about the existing Solar Boy missions and what maybe wasn't as fun. Obviously, failing isn't fun. I definitely am sick of getting stuck on things. I'm very sick of having to go and pick up my rover from hundreds of kilometers away. Is quite exhausting. Ideally, I do want to make a rover that stays out there and survives. Interestingly, our interactions with people have actually been really positive so far, but we also can't take too many risks because, you know, it only takes one person to ruin everything by stepping on it or driving their car over it. In terms of build streams, there may be a few now and then. However, a lot of the engineering is basically me banging my head against the wall for hours and hours and hours at a time. There's very, you know, in like 8 hours of me building something, probably there's less than 10 minutes of video content you'd actually want to watch. On top of that, it's very difficult for me to talk to an audience and engineer at the same time. It really does require my whole brain power. We did previously a disassembly stream because that's something I can do with my eyes shut. But fundamentally, there'll be test streams along the way, but the actual engineering will be, you'll mostly see it on YouTube. But yeah, fundamentally, it's an exciting time because I get to start the design of a new rover, which I've been looking forward to ever since I picked this up. And this is a highly capable chassis that is far better at climbing over things. It is smaller, so we're going to have to be careful, but I always like a challenge. But for now, I'd love to say a big thank you to my Melbourne team, Derwent, Chris, Tully, and Brett. They really joined in after Mission 1 and 2, came in and lent some engineering assistance. Derwent in particular really helped getting the code base stronger, which meant the missions involved a lot less of my typing and a lot more driving and getting out there and doing fun stuff. Chris helped a lot with making mission controllers pretty as you see it here. And Brent and Tully also helped a huge amount in terms of troubleshooting things and getting things moving along the way. I'd also like to say a big thank you to everyone in the Discord where we've all been sharing our ideas for rovers and so on and so forth. It's really been great having people to talk to about this and just generally enjoying the adventure along the way. I'd also like to say a shout out to King Crab and Bonic Brain for helping out with the media side of things. So for now, I will say thank you and good night. There'll be a little bit more on YouTube in the next couple of weeks if you want to see what went down. But fundamentally, for now, I'll say good night and keep an eye on Twitter and, of course, YouTube at WhatUpTK here. And, of course, the Facebook at WhatUpTK here for the next chapter of the Solar Boy saga, because certainly it doesn't end here. We're always out there to do more adventures. So I'll say thank you all very much. And for now, good night. TK out.